Oh, hey.
Hey, Liz, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Looks a little cold up there.
Yeah, it's snowing in Calgary today, but I'm actually in Edmonton, so it's
Oh, wow.
just regular, but there is snow back in Calgary.
Okay.
So I thought I'd bundle up just for you guys.
Awesome.
Extra goose.
Sweet. Very good. All right. Well, nobody really wanted to ask the first question today, so I got stuck with the first question for you.
Okay, sounds good.
So if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, which province do you live in, what city do you live in, that type of stuff.
Cool.
Okay.
So I'm originally from Iowa, just like you guys. I went to school with Megan in high school and college, and then I moved to Canada. I moved to Calgary, Alberta, which I'm sure, are you guys like at the end of your unit now or at the beginning? Beginning. Okay, so we're in Calgary, Alberta, so it's just above Montana. Alberta's just above Montana, and then we're in Calgary, which isn't actually the capital of the province. Edmonton's the capital, and I'm in Edmonton this weekend.
All right. So how many hours apart is that?
3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Who's my question number 2? Okay, what's your name?
My name is Gord.
Hi.
Which time zone are you in?
We are in Mountain Daylight Time, so we're 1 hour behind you. So that puts us at 12:45.
All right, good. Who's got number 3? All right.
Hi, my name's Dominic Morin, and what type of job do you have, and what type do most people have?
I am a student, just like you guys right now. I was working on a presentation just between the 2 classes, and I'm studying occupational therapy. So it's kind of like physical therapy, and if someone needs a cast, we can make a cast for them, or if they get injured, we help them walk again, or help them adapt to their new normal after like an accident or something. The majority of people, though, in Canada, no, I'll take it back. The majority of people in Calgary work in oil and gas because in Calgary and Alberta, there's a lot of drilling for oil because it's a very rich industry here. So most people work in oil and gas. However, there's been a boom, bust. There's been a bit of a bust right now, and people are losing jobs in the oil industry, so that's kind of too bad for them.
Kind of makes sense with what we talked about in class the other day, so it's good.
Nice.
All
Yeah.
right, 4. All right, Carlson.
My name is Carlson, and what type of government does Canada operate with?
Okay. Canada has what's called I googled this here, a constitutional monarchy. So it's actually under the rule of Queen Elizabeth in Great Britain, but we have a prime minister. So just like in the States you have a president, we have a prime minister. Does anyone know what his name is? Nope. Justin Trudeau. I'll quick Google a picture of him for you. He's just new. He got into the House of Commons last year. So that's the other part of it. So there's the Queen, then there's the Prime Minister, and then there's the House of Commons, which is kind of like the U.S. House of Representatives and Senate kind of thing. And so in the House of Commons, they'll have the Liberals and the Conservatives are the main parties, but then they have a few other parties in addition to that. I'll just click Justin.
Yeah, there's a picture
You see him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's our Prime Minister. He is a young guy. He's only like 45, I think. He's got really young kids, but he's doing a good job. So,
Hey,
yeah,
that's
good.
young. Watch it.
I said I was young.
Okay. Geez. All right, good. All right, who's 5?
My name's Kale. What's your climate like? How hot? How cold? Is there a lot of snow?
Yeah, so our climate is, I would say, somewhat similar to Iowa, but the seasons, particularly summer, feels really, really short, and winter feels really, really long. And winter, the temperature is quite similar to Iowa. However, we also get these cool things called Chinook winds. So because we're so close to the Rocky Mountains, what happens is, like, say this is the mountain and this is Calgary. The wind comes over the mountain and it heats up when it hits the valley like a convection oven. And so we get like days in the winter where it's like really hot and you can go running. Just a second, my husband just got home. I'll be right back.
I won't.
I'm baby chicken. Say AKA. I am chicken.
Guys, when she talked about the oil industry in Alberta, didn't we talk about
Okay.
that?
All right, I'm back. So yeah, so the climate's pretty similar, but exception with the wind, the Chinook winds. The average snowfall for Calgary is 50 inches, and that's in imperial, like what you're used to, the standard and measurement. But in metric, it's 128 centimeters. So
That'd be fun.
we like it when it snows because then we go out to the mountains and then we can go ski and we fall a lot of snow, sweet cherry pow pow. Yeah.
All right, so about how hot does it get there, Liz? How hot and cold?
Oh yeah, in the summers it gets to be we have about 4 or 5 days of 30-degree weather. And 30 degrees sounds really cold because you're used to Fahrenheit, right?
Yeah.
So we're in Celsius. And in Celsius, the measurement is just a little different. So today it's probably about 5 degrees Celsius. So if we want to make that Fahrenheit, we just do a little bit of math. So we do 5 plus 5 is
10.
And then we add 32 degrees Fahrenheit because that's 0 in Fahrenheit. So then we do 10 plus 32 is how much?
42.
So it's 42 degrees Fahrenheit today out in Canada. What's the weather like by you guys?
Cold. Cooler. Probably high of 55 today.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's been in the 70s this week, so this is kind of cold for us.
That was crazy.
That's
Happy
crazy.
to-
So, yeah, good. All right, who's number 6? All right.
I'm Cole. It smelled like the store.
Cool.
What kind of vehicles do you have? Do you have any old muscle cars?
Sorry, what kind of vehicles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically, do you have any old muscle cars? Any old antique cars that people
Oh, okay, cool. Cars are pretty similar to in the States. There's a lot of like foreign cars that get brought in, like Toyota and Honda and Hyundai. There's also quite a few old cars, but people just more have those as like recreational or like hobby kind of things that they do, but you don't see a ton of old antique cars on a regular basis, but they're there. Yeah.
So pretty similar to us. Awesome.
Yeah, totally.
All right, 7. Who's 7?
Hi, my name's Riley, and how close are your neighbors? And do you live in a city or a rural area?
We live in a city. We're in Calgary, and Calgary's population is about 1 million people. So, and it's a very spread out city, but we're really, really close to our neighbors. And I find that the yards here compared to in the States are a lot smaller, and everyone has fences, and no one has like driveways at the front of their house. Well, not a lot of people. They're all at the back in like an alley. So you know how you have like your garage and your driveway right at the front of your house? Well, in Canada, we all have alleys, and at the back of your house there's an alley, and that's where your driveway is. So that's a little different. And you're very close to your neighbors, but I find it's you don't know your neighbors as much as back home, but back home I grew up in a small town like Newton. You guys know where Newton is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in Newton, so it was quite a bit different. But here the houses are close together, and yeah, it's different. You don't get to know your neighbor as well, I guess, either.
All right, number 8.
Hi, I'm David Chicken Coop.
That's his nickname.
Chicken coop. Wow, that's a name.
What kind of sports do they play, and what is your favorite baseball team?
Oh wow. The kind of sports. So lacrosse is the national sport. There's a lot of hockey. They do play football, but not to the extent as in the U.S. They have the CFL, the Canadian Football League, which is like the state's NFL, but it's just a little bit like not as intense, maybe you could say. And in the winter, some sports that we play, we can do skiing and snowboarding and cross-country skiing and ice climbing. So there's quite a bit different sports here in that respect, just because we have the geography to do that. With the mountains, we can ski. In Iowa, it's a little bit harder to go down a little hill with a snowboard, but you can find hills. You still can find hills. And my favorite baseball team, I'll probably say the Cubs.
Yes!
They're gonna win the World Series this year.
No. Yeah, they had to make sure they asked that question. They were really crossing their fingers that you were a Cubbies fan.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool.
All right, number 9.
Hi, my name's Kelsey. What unique animals are there in Canada?
So the animals in the city that we mostly see are coyotes or snowshoe hares. And this time of year, the bunnies, the rabbits, are brown, but in the winter they're white. So that's kind of cool. And then most of the other animals are in the mountains. So in the mountains we have black bears, grizzly bears, wolves. My husband and I went camping 2 weeks ago, and we actually heard the wolf pack in Banff. We were like camping, and we heard them across the lake howling to each other. So that was kind of a cool thing. And there's also some moose and deer and elk. You can see elk as well. And cougar, but I've never seen one, but I think they're there. They are there. So, yeah. Just like your school mascot, right?
Okay. Who's 10? All right.
Hey, my name's Dylan. Do you live in a clean environment? Does the government do anything to promote clean energy?
Yes, I liked this question, so I Googled it. So Canada generates a significant majority of its electricity from hydroelectric dams, which I had no idea. About 59% of our energy comes from hydroelectric dams, which I thought was pretty cool. We're getting more into wind energy because in southern Alberta it's really, really windy. So we have those wind turbines. You know what those are? I'm sure you've seen them. So Canada is the 6th largest producer of wind energy in the world, which is kind of cool. And Prime Minister Trudeau just signed the Paris Agreement, which is like, do you guys know about the Paris Agreement? That's pretty complicated stuff. It's like where like the 20 most rich and powerful countries in the world get together and they sign an agreement to help reduce carbon emissions in the world. And so Prime Minister Trudeau said that he would do his best and Canada would do its best to harness the power of renewable energy, and that the government has committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 30% from 2005 to 2030. So it's really neat to see Canada getting involved and really working to reduce those greenhouse gases and stuff too. So yeah, I love that question. Are you a huge environmental fan?
I don't even know whose question was that.
That was Dylan.
That was your question?
That was mine.
That was a good
That's
question.
awesome. That's, yeah, great question.
Alright. Who's 11? Alright.
My name is Darren Bell, and how many languages do you know?
How many languages do I know?
Yeah.
2. And I know English, and then un poquito de español.
Spanish.
A little bit of Spanish. I took 3 years in high school. Yeah, but in Canada, they know French more. I mean, they speak English and French, but that's like their other language that they can learn. And it's only spoken in the province of Quebec primarily, but other people speak it in other provinces as well.
Okay, good. All right, 12. Who's 12?
My name is Jeffrey, and what religions are there in Canada?
What religion? Oh my goodness, a lot. We have Christianity, Muslim, there, Buddhism, all sorts, Muslim. I don't know a ton about like the percentage, but there's definitely a good mix of different cultures and different religions, especially in Calgary. Yeah.
All right, who's 13?
Hi, I'm Kennedy. I was kind of wondering what crops do they grow in Canada?
Primarily, I was Googling this before too. Barley, canola, and alfalfa, rye, and oats. And wheat is a staple crop from Canada as well. We don't have as long of like growing season as in the U.S. because the summers are quite a bit shorter because we're a bit more north. But yeah, those are the main ones.
So you guys don't have, like, your ease of access to sweet corn, okay? Here, sweet corn's a big thing in the summer. Do you guys have easy access to that?
Yeah, there is a bit of sweet corn grown in Alberta, in southern Alberta, which is really good. But I think the majority of our corn is even just shipped in from the U.S. I like to look on the labels, and you often can see it coming, especially if it's really early in the season, like it's probably coming from like California or something. But if it's like in like July, then it will be probably from Alberta, which is cool to support your local.
Cool. 14.
Hi, my name is Delia. What type of livestock do you have?
There's livestock, just like in Calgary and around there. There's a lot of farms out like more rural Alberta, and they have a lot of horses and cattle. That's, I would say, the most for livestock.
So pretty typical to Iowa.
Yeah, totally.
All right, who's 15?
Hi, my name's Tanner, and I was wondering, like, what types of fish do you have up there?
Yeah, so my husband and I went on a canoeing trip 2 years ago, and he caught 5 fish in one trip, and they were a mix of, if I can remember, salmon, trout, bass, and I think there was one called a Dolly Varden. And just to give you an idea how big, the biggest one he caught was 31 inches.
Whoa! Jeez!
So,
That's huge.
yeah, they're big fish. I was used to little like bluegills at Lake Mariposa, so this was a big change.
Wow. Cool. Good. Yeah, big fish. Big old fish. All right, 16.
Hi, my name is Kaylee. Where would you go on vacation in Canada?
Canada has a lot of good spots. Well, so far I've been to a few of the provinces. I think my favorite spot to vacation would be Vancouver Island, which is just off the west coast of Vancouver. So you have Alberta, which is right above Montana, and then to the west of Alberta, you have British Columbia, and that's where Vancouver Island is. And on the island, there's the city of Victoria, which is the capital of Vancouver, or of BC. So it has it's a really pretty city, and there's sailboats in the harbor, and that's a beautiful place to go. Alberta, also, I love to vacation there, even though that's where I live. But just an hour west of us is Banff, and often we'll go camping in Banff. So yeah, I sent you a link on Travel Alberta
sweet.
just now, so you can watch it later with the kids, like on next week or something.
Yeah, or otherwise I'll post it on Google Classroom for you guys can watch it too.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that Google Classroom sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of something new we're trying this year, so.
Nice.
I like
Good.
it. Yeah, I like it. So.
Oh yeah.
Alright, 17. Hang in there, guys. 17.
Hi, my name is Linda, and what is the best part of living in Canada?
Oh, probably living so close to the mountains. So anytime we want to get out to the mountains, it's about an hour drive, and I've learned how to go mountain biking and skiing and snowboarding and ice climbing. So I'd say the best part is living so close to such amazing beauty and natural resources like the mountains. Yeah.
It's me again, Dominic. Are there a lot of snakes? If so, what kinds?
Yeah, I've seen a few snakes just on like runs in the river valley, but they're pretty much just gardener snakes. So that's pretty much all I've seen. I think in southern Alberta there are rattlesnakes, and just like your basic, I think I've seen water snakes, but no pythons in Alberta, so that's good.
Okay, now I can go visit. Now that I know that. Okay. 19.
That's me again, Dylan. Do you live anywhere near you or your husband's relatives?
Yeah, so we're in Calgary, and now we're in Edmonton. I'm actually at my husband's parents' house right now, so we're in Edmonton. And then that's it for mostly closeness. We do have some relatives in Lethbridge. Have you guys heard of Lethbridge?
No.
It's just a little bit south of Calgary, and we have some aunts and uncles there, and Theo's cousins are there too.
And then your family is all back here in Iowa.
Yeah.
How many
Most of my
hours?
family's in Iowa and Indiana. Yep. So
how
it's a
many
long
hours
ways
away?
away, but I'm going home at Christmas, so that's good.
Good, yay.
Yeah.
Fun. Good. Let's see, 20.
Hi, I am Lane. What different foods does Canada have? And what is your favorite?
Yeah. In the other class, I only said poutine, but I Googled a few more things, and then it triggered my memory. So we have poutine. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
It's like a Canadian staple. It's like French fries with gravy on it.
Sounds good.
It's pretty good. And then they have ketchup chips. Do you have that in the U.S.?
No.
Oh.
So good.
Yeah, ketchup chips and Nanaimo bars.
Yeah.
Nanaimo is a city on Vancouver Island. And Nanaimo bars are like amazing, like chocolate bars that have like a layer of chocolate and then a layer of like custard cream and then another layer of chocolate.
So good.
And like maybe a little bit of coconut. I don't know.
She could send us
What
a
can the
box.
US have?
Yeah,
They're
sounds good.
tasty.
Okay.
And then Saskatoons are grown here in Alberta, which are basically like little blueberries. They kind of are a little more like they have seeds in them, kind of. They're not quite as good as blueberries, but they're pretty yummy. And then real maple syrup made from all the maple trees around here. So, yeah. Oh, and my favorite is probably the Nanaimo bars.
Yeah, those sound really good.
Like bar.
Really good.
Sexy guys.
Okay, 21.
What is the main culture like?
Yeah, I Googled this as well. In our city, I'd say it's very diverse. Like, it tries to focus on art and music and sports. What else? Yeah, I don't know what else to say. What do you have any other specific question about that?
Whose question was that?
I don't
I think I
know.
remember. I think it was just general.
I think it was mine, but I don't know.
It's very diverse. People from all over the world interested in arts and sports and music, and yeah, it's awesome.
Good. All right, 22.
What restaurants do you have that are similar to Iowa?
We have a lot of similar restaurants. We have like the same fast food chains like McDonald's and Subway. We have a few ones that are different. Yeah, we don't have Perkins in Canada, so I miss that. We don't have Culver's either, which I miss. Culver's is like my favorite restaurant, so we don't have that.
It's his last name.
Well, I made it.
He's the inventor of Culver's.
His
Wow.
last name is Culver, so he thinks he's the,
Oh, I see. Smart. Right. Well, thank you for inventing the best restaurant chain.
Good job, Kale. You can graduate from 7th grade now.
You're a regular entrepreneur.
I will be happy.
All right, 23.
My name is Shaylee, and what grocery stores do you have?
We have you heard of Safeway?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so we have Safeway and Sobeys and the Real Canadian Superstore, which is basically like a really big Hy-Vee / Walmart combination. And there's like Save on Foods, and there's quite a few different ones. We don't have, in Canada, we don't have Fairway, we don't have Hy-Vee, we do have Walmart. But quite a bit different. I had to get used to there's a lot of like French on the like food labels, and it took a bit to get used to, and the prices were quite a bit higher in the grocery stores here in Canada, but I've gotten used to that now.
Okay. All right, 24.
Hi, it's me right again. What does a gallon of milk cost? And is it in a gallon or a bag?
A gallon of milk, it costs about $4.50. Is that, I feel like, probably similar to back in Iowa, yeah?
It's about $3.
It's $1 in Parkersburg.
You guys is like $3?
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's way more reasonable. Ours is like $4.50, and it comes in a gallon, but they just call it well, actually, I think we call it a gallon, but a gallon is like basically like 4 liters, which is like a gallon is imperial standard, and then the liters is the metric system, like the Celsius and the centimeter thing. That makes sense.
All right, 25.
It's me, Darren again. What unique landforms do you guys have around your area?
The main thing would be, well, it's cool. We're on prairies right here in Calgary, and a lot of Alberta is prairies. And then if you go a bit west, you get the Rocky Mountains, and so those are the best, most interesting, I say, land formations, because mountains are incredible to think how they formed millions of years ago from sedimentary rock buildup, and they used to be like under the ocean, but the oceans are gone, and now the rock buildup has accumulated. So I have just a picture of a cool mountain that I went to this summer. And the top of it is a glacier. So basically glaciers are just like huge pieces of like ice and snow that have been gradually melting. So it's kind of sad that as each year with like the rising temperatures and like climate change, the glaciers are receding. And so I don't know what they say, by a certain 2050, all the glaciers will be gone in Canada. Yeah, kind of sad.
All right, 26.
Chastity. My name is Chastity, and what do you have for historical monuments in Canada?
We have, where did it go? I had a few that I pulled up. None that I like. There are no like really significant monuments that I like know of. Like, you know, in the States we have the Washington Memorial and whatnot, but they do have like, let's see, the Peacekeeping Monument, the Ottawa Memorial, Canadian Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. So they do have some of the similar kind of, monuments that we do, just maybe little less famous about them. Yeah.
Hi, it's me, Tanner, again. I was wondering, what do people hunt there, and do people go fishing a lot?
Yeah, people go. We have some friends who are big into hunting, and I believe that they're hunting deer and something else. I don't know what it was. Pheasant, something like pheasants or something. Yeah, pheasants. And it was fun. They had us over, and I got to try and shoot their bow and arrow, which is really hard to shoot. Kind of fun. I could hardly hit the target, so I have a great appreciation for hunters and, yeah, the precision you have to have. Who all of you hunt? Oh, cool. Nice. Wow. That's great. And then fishing, people do go fishing in the Bow River, which is like, it runs through Calgary. And then people do a lot of fly fishing in that one.
All right.
Yeah.
28.
It's me, Cord, again. Are there provinces that don't agree with each other?
Not really. Not really, I don't think. The only thing that stands out to me is the province of Quebec is the one that's the French-speaking French-speaking province, and it tends to kind of have a little bit of it kind of likes to do its own thing because it considers itself its own little country within Canada kind of thing. So it doesn't not necessarily disagree, but I think there's a different attitude or mindset because they all speak French, and so it's just like if you go to Quebec and you don't speak French, you don't fit in kind of thing. Yeah.
29.
Does mail come to you or do you have to go get it?
Mail comes to us. Yeah, I think they're going to try to change it that they're going to put up like postal boxes within neighborhoods or whatnot, and then you'll have to like go to a certain area to get your mail. But we still have mail delivered to us. What's a little bit different is, I don't know if you still do it in the States actually. When you like write a letter and you address it to send to someone, you like flip your like little flag up on your mailbox to indicate that the guy needs to mail it away.
Yeah.
In Canada, you can't do that. You have to like drop it off at a post office or a little post office box, and then it gets sent away.
Okay.
So that's a little bit different, I guess.
All right, and then last question. Whew. You're doing good. Last question here, 30.
It's me again, Shaylee. What is the average lifespan?
Average life is 81.24 years. Which was similar in Japan, I think, was 83, but India was 66. I don't know what the U.S.'s average lifespan is.
22 because of McDonald's.
We'll probably have to look. Somebody will have to look this weekend, because I'm not exactly sure either.
Yeah.
Okay, well the bell here is going to ring, unfortunately.
I'll quick show you money. I'll quick show you the money. This is a $5 bill.
Whoa! It's like a bat.
And this is the $10 bill.
George Washington.
This was Sir John A. Macdonald, the first Prime Minister of Canada. And on the back, you can see the train, which is the Rocky Mountaineer going through the mountains. And then let's see, this is my Canadian permanent resident card. Anything else? There's my driver's license.
Quick, steal the information.
No.
I think that's probably Canada quarter.
Can I have it?
Can I have it?
Now, don't they call those something different, like loonies or toonies or something?
Yeah, I don't have one right now. Our $1 bills is a loonie, and then we have a $2 bill, which is a toonie, and they're just coins.
Oh,